What's going on, y'all? It's another episode of Curious Mike. I'm here with my brother Andy Mineo. It's been a long time coming. We've been trying to get this pod cracking for a couple years now, but we're finally here, and I'm excited to have you on, my brother.
Welcome to New York.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it. So, man, I've been a fan for, I want to say, probably 10 plus years. You know, you still look young, but you've been in the game for a minute.
Yeah.
So I've kind of been with you on the whole journey from your early music to where you are now.
Yeah.
I've always been interested in your story and kind of your journey, just because you are unique in the space that you're in. So walk us through the early childhood days of Andy Mineo. Kind of how did you grow up? I know in some of your songs you talk about, your past and your relationship with your dad and things like that.
Yeah.
Talk about kind of early experiences and kind of like how you became who you are now.
Well, I grew up in Syracuse, New York, and so my mom had me later in life. She had me at 42. My mom was older, so she's not going to have as many, limitations on you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty free range as a kid. My dad wasn't in my life at all, and that created its own set of things that every kid deals with. But I found music, and just started off with a couple friends, hacking a program on the computer. It was called Cool Edit. It was like a way to figure out how to, now you can get them on every computer, but at that time it was you had to find this special program. And so we started making beats, started rapping together, just figuring it out. And it kind of just, from that time, I was probably 10, 11, 12 years old, it really just became a passion. Right. So I would take all the money I could get from birthdays or Christmas and try to put it together, go buy a new piece of equipment so I could learn to record myself and then record my friends.
That's fine.
And then it turned into I'm recording everybody. I'm in middle school and people want to come to my house to record music. So I was starting to make money in middle school recording people, and I did that all through high school, and then I went to college here in New York City, moved down as a teenager, and then just kind of things blossomed from there. To give you the Cliff Notes version, it was I'd done so much recording, engineering, and writing my own stuff that I started releasing stuff in college. And it caught the attention of some record labels. And that's when, I got to kind of start doing it professionally, 2011.
Was it always rap for you? When you were young and you were getting into the music thing, were you always a fan of rap? And who were you recording with in those early days? Were you recording different types of music for different types of artists, or was it always just rap?
Okay, so this is funny. So it was always rap because I always listened to, there was a whole group of people I'd listen to. Eminem was big at the time, DMX, Jay-Z, right? These guys are all taking off in their careers. 50 Cent was coming up. So we were listening to those guys, and G-Unit was big. And I remember that all these people would come to the studio, but Syracuse didn't have a lot of talent. It has a lot of talent, but not a lot of talent that people know about, I should say. Let me correct that. So it was a small community of artists, and there's a guy who's blowing up right now who used to come to the studio all the time. We're friends to this day.
Really?
And his name is Stove God Cooks.
He's older now, huh?
Stove God Cooks, yeah. He was just on the Clips album. He was just on Joe and Jada. He's having a moment right now.
Really?
So him and I are the only people from Syracuse that really I don't want this to sound disrespectful, but just been able to make a splash in the larger music scene.
Right.
And so he's doing his thing right now, and it's funny. We'll call each other, text a little bit, and just kind of laugh about it's coming out of Syracuse. Because we really didn't have nobody.
How old are you now? How old are you?
37.
So he blew up, and he was past 30 when he made a little splash.
Oh yeah, no, he's
30.
Yeah. He's post 30, making a splash.
Wild. Early on in those days, the guys you were hanging around, you had a passion for music, but at that time, was it already in the Christian genre, or was it just all over the place?
No. It was just music. It was just rap.
Gotcha.
And there was nothing faith-based about my music at that time, because my life hadn't really been changed. I think once in my college years, once I moved here, my faith really became a big part of my life, and so that started shifting the stuff I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
and what
I was going to ask that because coming from where you come from, with the background you do and the household you had, your pops not really being in your life, kind of being able to move around how you wanted to at a young age, how did you come to the realization that you wanted to take your faith serious? Because for me, in my experience, is similar to you. Once I finally was out of the house for good and I was in college, and I kind of got to really live how I wanted to live and make my own decisions, it didn't take long for me to kind of realize that I wanted to go that route. But like for you, you might not have had that same like structure in your household. So like, how did you on your own come to that conclusion?
Well, my mom was a Christian, and she would always try to encourage me towards faith, but she wasn't overbearing. You know, she didn't force me to go nowhere, go to church with her, none of those things. But she would pray for me a lot. And you know, I had a tough childhood because I got kicked out of public school, and I got sent to behavior modification school. So like, I get put on the separate bus, sent way off into a different school out of town specifically for like troubled youth, you know what I mean? So I did like 3 years in that. And my sister one summer was working at a camp right outside of New York here. It's called Port Jervis. And it was a Christian camp. You know, they would take all the foster kids from New York City, bring them up there. And so that's where like, you know, more of my passion for hip hop came, is like I'm discovering the clips, grinding, all this stuff was coming out at that time. And there were some people there who were sharing faith, and that's when it became real to me. It was like, oh, I kind of understood what faith was about in those settings. And so it was the influences of all those people, I think, and over time, it's like you hear something, but sometimes it doesn't settle in until you experience it yourself. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so going off to school here, living by myself, you start to realize as you're growing up, you're a late teenager, 18, 17, 18, 19, you're starting to have to figure out life on your own, becoming a man, and you start to realize you need some of those things, you know, to ground you or to guide you. Yeah. And, you know, I thank God I had a few people that ended up being like father figures in my life who were positive influences and, you know, showed me you know, how to walk in faith, how to pray, how to read Bible, how to, you know, make decisions for your own. So Dave Ham, all these people that, actually he lives here in New York, runs a church here in Brooklyn, or in Long Island City. So I ended up getting blessed by having some positive influences too. So that helped. I don't even remember what the original question was.
No, you answered it. I was just curious about like how you transit, because your childhood was very different than like mine, where it was a 2-parent household. They were heavily like influencing me. We were homeschooled. We didn't have much freedom. You know, they instilled kind of the Christian faith on us. And I was just curious how you came to that conclusion, but you answered it. You're like, right now I got a homie who he's trying to blow up in the music space. His name is Chase Thomas. And you know, we went to the label the other day and we're chopping it up with them. And they're telling us like in 2025 how you have to blow up. It's all through like, you got to go viral through TikTok, you got to do this, you got to do that. You being from Syracuse, New York, you know, learning how to record yourself, learning how to make beats yourself, how back then did you make a splash and actually get some traction to be able to make this a living? Because I'm sure at first it was a passion. Did you view it then that one day you would be making money traveling the world rapping? Like, was that always the goal?
It was the goal. It was the goal as a kid. I remember being like 11, 12, and Lil Bow Wow was popular at the time. I'm like, man, I'm plotting on his spot. You know what I'm saying? Just like, I always wanted to do it as a career, but there's no like manual. There's no playbook for this. And before the internet became as, you know, accessible and broad as it is, we all have it high speed on our phones. It was like dial-up. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like you could just jump on. There was no TikTok. There was no Instagram. None of that stuff. So you really had to go through the gatekeepers in industries. Yeah. So if you want to be put on a magazine, because magazines were what showcased, you know, XXL, all that stuff, showcased the most premier talent, you had to know somebody or a PR or a label or somebody who could walk you into those buildings. Yeah. So it was difficult. And at the time, what was trending was like G-Unit. It was like tough guy stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I've always made it a kind of a rule in my music that I'm gonna be honest, you know? And so I'm like, I'm not gonna talk about shooting anybody if I'm not shooting nobody. Yeah. So you're trying to like, you know, do your thing, maybe more like a conscious perspective, but at that time, G-Unit's killing. So you're knocking on doors like, yo, what y'all think about this? They're like, could you please rob somebody? You know what I mean? Like, nah, that's not really about that.
You know what's crazy about that? 21 Savage came out in an interview and he was talking about the fact that like, the things he raps about, he doesn't even want to rap about. Like it's more that he knows that that type of music is gonna sell and make money, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of artists have come out and said, I think NBA YoungBoy was like, man, I know my music is creating violence. I know that it's hurting people, but at the end of the day, it's what made them rich, you know? So that at that time probably was like going through your mind of like, man, I'm trying to create this honest and positive music, but these dudes over here are blowing up, you know? Did that go through your mind at all?
Yeah, of course. You're like trying to figure out a way in, and there's no room for you because what happens is what you make as art is an honest expression, but you have to also realize it's the music business. So the business side of it is that it sees your honest expression as a product. And it's like, who is this product for? And is there a demand for this product? The same way, you know, we drinking this water right now. Shout out to them. Please sponsor the pod. You know, they're making this specifically for an audience. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with music. It's like, oh, if we know gangster movies sell, if we know gangster rap sells, whatever, we know how to bring this to market, who wants to consume that, all that. So I think at the time it was just like, we don't know if there's a market for the type of stuff you're doing. And so what makes it difficult is I think when guys like 21, I don't know him personally, but like, if he's saying, man, I'm creating this stuff, not because I want to, but because this is what sells, what they're saying is like they're seeing their art as a product. And I've never seen my art as a product. I've seen it as an expression. Like this is a truthful expression, an honest expression of who I am. I think I'd be more successful if I could just see my art as a product.
Yeah.
Like just be like, oh, this is what people want, then I'm just gonna make this.
But yeah, but what do you have to sacrifice to do that? Like even for me, for example, like speaking on the certain subjects I speak on the podcast, or, you know.
Yeah, you're getting some bullets for being honest.
Touching certain subjects, like, yes, I could stay completely away from that and try to maintain a crystal clear brand and image so that maybe this person will sponsor me or this or that, but like at the cost of what? Because when you talk about purpose, you know, that doesn't align with that. You have to be honest and you have to be truthful if you want to walk in your purpose. And so for me, I had to consciously choose that I'm willing to like be honest and speak what I believe rather than make a few more $1 million or something like that, you know?
Sure.
And, you know, I've been blessed to make a lot of money to the point where I'm not like too concerned about the extra marketing dollars or this or that. But it is a conscious decision that everybody has to make. And I feel like a lot of people, if they haven't really kind of figured out what's important to them, they will choose the, you know, the success over maybe walking in their purpose until they get to the point where they've gotten everything there is to get, and they realize that, you know, I would rather choose peace. I would rather choose internal, like, you know, I would rather be not proud, but I would rather walk in an honest way. Like I listened to Lecrae's recent interview with Will Smith, and he seems like he's finally kind of getting to that place where it's like, I've done everything there is to do. I've been the biggest movie star in the world. I have pretty much all the money you could ask for. And he kind of seems like he's in that place where he's trying to like have impact. So I think it's inspiring that, like a rapper like you chose to speak on things that matter and speak with purpose rather than just gratifying yourself by being as big as you could be. You know what I mean?
What I realize is selling your soul, that, you know, when they say, oh, he sold his soul, I don't see it as much as like a sit down, a contractual moment with the devil. I see it as like, I've done things to get places and make money that it's hard for me to live with myself.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I have exchanged money for my values.
Yeah.
You know, and I know a lot of people have gotten really big over the years, you know what I'm saying? And I won't drop any names, but it's like, they got really big over the years and you talk to them, they don't have peace.
Yeah.
Because they're ashamed of what they become to get that.
What they had to go through to get that. That's, I'm glad you touched on that. The term selling your soul, like a lot of people will take that as like, you know, you sit down and which sometimes it may be where like, some people, it may be where they sit down and they sign a contract that says, oh, you can't mention the name Jesus or you can't this or that. Like I think a thing came out of Kai Cenat recently. I don't know if that was true or not. But
I think he tried to clear it up and say it wasn't true.
Really? Well, I mean,
the
I
idea
know
of censorship.
Yeah, there is some of that, but I think, like you just said, selling your soul in a common sense is like where, like you said, it's deciding to place the value of whether it's money, fame, notoriety, even image sometimes.
Sure.
Put that in a higher place than your values, your integrity, your relationship with God. And to be honest, I don't judge the people that prioritize those things more than their values, because at the end of the day, they may be in certain situations where they need to feed their family, they need to whatever. But I agree with you that everybody has to come to their own conclusion on whether, like, what's the most important. And I feel like those people that have sold their soul, like you said, a lot of times they don't have that peace, that you can't buy that. I was on a podcast actually with Amber Rose a few weeks ago, of all people.
Yeah.
And she was talking about,
How does the face tattoo look in person?
it's dope. She's fire.
She killed it?
She's dope. She's really cool.
Cause I didn't know if that was real when I first seen
No, it
it.
is. She got the tat right
What's
here.
it say?
She rocks it though. I don't even know what it says.
Is it somebody's name? You sat across from her for an hour.
I
Don't
ain't
know what
even
it
read
said.
it. I ain't even read it. But
Is it somebody's name? Do you know what it is? You don't even know.
yeah, I don't know. But I mean, she looks fine. She got the bald head. She got the tat.
I mean, she's always looked cool.
But she touched on something similar, because we were talking about the industry, and she was talking about the image that a lot of people put out in the celebrity world is destroying them on the inside, because they're two different people. They put out this persona and this image to the world, but at home they're a completely different person, and they have to go outside and put on this character that's not even them. And I asked her, I was like, how much does that weigh on people? And she was like, talking about that and speaking on that, she was like, Future doesn't even do drugs. She was like, Future does not do, and that surprised me. I'm like, all his songs, the persona he gives is like that he's high 24/7. You know what I mean? But then at home, she's like, yeah, he doesn't even do drugs. And she was just touching on the fact that a lot of celebrity, like pretty much all the celebrities she knows, that weighs on them, having to put on this facade that internally doesn't even align with
Who they are and what they want to be.
So
yeah.
that's a
Now
tough one.
that is tough. And I say this, and I don't say this at any disrespect to LA, but I say some people can be in LA too long.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying when I say that?
Did you not see my viral quote saying that?
You said that?
I said that on a stream. Somebody asked me a question and I answered it a certain way, and then he answered it a certain way, and I was like, bro, you've been in LA too long. Cause I literally said, bro, you've been in LA too long. That was my
That's
quote.
a thing.
That was my quote. And what
That's
do you
the
mean
thing.
by that?
So I said it in that song, Play Along, that's on the thing that came out last year. Don't stay in LA too long, that's when it gets weird. You ain't from there, sort of like the palm trees, yeah. Like, there's a thing about LA. LA's biggest export is entertainment. Mm-hmm. And I've just seen it happen too much, where somebody moves to LA out of their intention to advance their career, which there's nothing wrong with that. Every time I go to LA, I get so much work done. It's unbelievable, because I can pick up the phone and, I'm in with T-Minus and Ed Exclusive, all these incredible producers in seconds. Get called up to a house on the hills, a beautiful place, and we're making music. It's like that. That's why people go there. But what can happen is if you stay there too long, there's an air that you breathe. You know what I'm saying? And there's incredible people there. I think if you go, you got to find your tribe, your people who will and be real. But there is a certain, everyone's trying to get ahead. Everyone's trying to become the next movie star, the next rapper. And you don't know if they're willing to step on you to get there. Mm-hmm. And it creates this sort of like, you got to stay guarded all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just a difficult way to live. If you stay there too long, it can kind of harden you to like not being able to trust people. I remember I was with WME, a booking agency, and they invited me out to one of their parties, and I showed up, and I'm there with my manager, and we're hanging out, and all of a sudden this girl comes over. I mean, like drop dead gorgeous. She just starts getting all in our face. Hey, what do you think? And the moment that she found out that we couldn't do nothing for her, bro, she went from being the nicest person to like, didn't even say goodbye, just whoop, on to the next circle. I was like, ooh, that's such a gross feeling, is that you use people as stepping stones to get places. And I'm like, if you're around that too much, it can get, now, LA, the people that are from there, the actual people of Los Angeles, incredible people, you know what I'm saying? So I mean no disrespect when I say it, but you can, I should more so say Hollywood,
Yeah.
the industry. You can get in there and stay there too long. So what were you gonna say?
I agree. No, I mean, like, LA people know that. You know, this is no secret.
know,
Like, people
they
that are
know.
from there, people that live there, they will speak on that. It's a true thing. Like, it is a tough place to live. Like, with that girl coming up to y'all, and if y'all could offer her something, if she felt like, then she
When
was.
she found out we were married or that we're not trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I'm out.
And it's crazy because, like, some of the people that I've met in LA, they swear that they're like good people or this or that. They don't even realize they're doing it. They've been in LA too long to where that's just the natural culture, to where they don't even realize that they are using people or being like opportunists. They don't even realize it because that's just how it is there. You know, you try to collab with this person or link up with this person that you don't even like, so y'all can take pictures for the gram and do whatever, so y'all can further each other's whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's real culture out there. Honestly, that's why, like, I feel like, honestly, because of social media around the world, it's trending that way a little bit more than it used to.
Sure.
LA is like a hot spot
It was a
for
hub
that.
for it because there's so much talent comes there.
Right. But like New York, from what I've seen so far, like, yeah, you probably have some of that, but people are a little, you know, they keep it real out here. It's been refreshing to just meet the average person that lives here and just how they interact with you.
Well, they're not as impressed.
Yeah.
They're not as impressed by celebrity because
might be what it
there's
is.
so many.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You'll see whoever on the street and it's like, that's Bill Murray, what up? You know, that's Al Pacino, what up?
That makes
You keep it because it's so common. And also I feel like the values are different. You know what I mean? There's a lot of funny phrases about LA and New York being different.
Even you being from New York, though, like, you give off a very, like, honest, no BS. Just every time I've kicked it with you, it's like, it's super just like real. And that's
Sure.
That's a personality trait that I really value.
You're not just gonna be laughing at jokes that aren't funny. I'm Mike, you're so funny. Like, oh. It just it's so gross to me.
For sure.
So, but you know what? I don't think that helps me in my career, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I just have decided that's who I want to be as a person. And the people that I mess with, you know, or mess with me are gonna get that. That's why when I said earlier, it depends on what you want out of a career and out of life. For me, I was like, I want to have real fans. I want to have people that love what I'm about, and that I don't have to put on anything extra for them to, you know, to rock with me. Because then you're trying to maintain an image or a thing that you don't even have the burden for to make people like you. So I would have gotten further in my career, I think, if I could have seen myself more as a product, you know, like play the game a little bit more. But I was reached out to by, you know, some of the biggest pop stars in the world. Yo, I love that you about, let's connect, let's work. And I was more like, yo, let's go kick it so I can learn more about you and you know, and not, all right, send me a verse. And I think I maybe would have gotten further along if I took that route, but I wouldn't have felt right about myself, my life, my art, my trajectory, you know? So.
I mean, well, you've touched a lot of people, impacted a lot of people, so I mean, you can't trade that for a little bit more fame, a little bit more money.
Sure. And I have real fans, bro.
Yeah, like real.
I have people that love me for me. They know that I don't take myself too seriously. They know, you know, they bought into the thing that I provide. And I love that. You know what I'm saying? We do a stream on Monday nights called The Hour of Power. And it's like the funniest fans, bro. Like, they're in there. We got inside jokes. We chilling. It's like, it feels good to have a community of people that rock with you for you.
Speak a little bit about, this is a very interesting topic to me, and I'm sure it's interesting to a lot of people. Speak a little bit about how it is being a white dude in the black industry of rap music and the challenges it's presented, but also just like the cool part of it. Like, there's not a lot of people that have your voice, have your rhythm, you know, and are able to put things together the way you do this, of your skin tone. Talk a little bit about the uniqueness that comes with that.
You know, in an industry where everybody wants to be a rapper, you know, or in a world everyone wants to be a rapper, you need something to differentiate you. Yeah. And sometimes the things that could be strikes against you are sometimes the thing that separate you too. Yeah, so I remember when I was I would go to battles, like I was in the battle rap scene, like running through Harlem, like back in Syracuse, like I would pop out and do these events. And that's before you could just scroll through somebody's IG page or whatever and figure out what they do. So you had to stand there and be looking at somebody. You don't know what's gonna come out of their mouth, if they're gonna be ill or not. And so when I would start rapping, it actually ended up becoming a plus for me. Because people be like, yo, you know what I'm saying?
I can see that, yeah.
So it ended up being advantageous for me because I was talented. The other thing though is like, I feel like being sometimes people don't know I'm white. And that happens as well.
You kind of look a little Spanish or something.
Yeah,
you
right.
look like you got a little something in you.
Well, I'm Sicilian, so,
Okay.
you know, my people there in the Mediterranean, like, it was conquered by so many people that there's different things all
Gotcha.
throughout the bloodline. So, and growing up in hip hop culture, all my friends, all the people that I surround with, my wife, none of them look like me. So I have all these flavors and all these inputs. And I also have a respect for the culture, right? So I think there's like white rap. I don't know how to put it.
Like,
and then
would
there's
you
people
say
who are,
like, okay, would you say like Jack Harlow's like white rapper rap?
Nah, I think he's a spicy white.
Yeah. What is a white rapper then? Like a white rapper?
Well, I think there was like an era of guys who were very white and very, how do you say this? Like, they're observers of the culture, of hip hop culture, but not participants in it. They kind of participate from the outside. I don't know if that makes sense, but
All the white rappers I know, they're the cool white boys, the Eminems, even what's his name, NF.
Yeah.
He like kind of got a little his own thing going on, but yeah.
yeah, it's a delicate thing to navigate because, you know, I don't want to ever disrespect. What I find is if I don't like somebody's stuff, I don't like to dump on it. I just like to say it's not for me.
Right.
Right. So I just be, you know, because let everybody do it's for somebody. So I just go. I think when there's white rappers who aren't in the culture, you can smell it, you can taste it, you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know whether or not they had the Jordans growing up,
Yeah.
or if they had the 6 rings.
Yeah.
Nah, no disrespect.
Nah, I mean, I feel
But you
like
know what I'm saying? You could tell.
I mean, I feel like just how they say like, you're a white rapper, so you're allowed to talk about the stereotypes of white rappers, and you're allowed to clown them because you are a white rapper.
Sure.
You got a new project coming out this year, I think.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it this year?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the inspiration behind it and kind of what you are going to try to get across in this project.
Yeah.
Where are you at in your life?
Well, so I actually, a lot of things happened this year. I became a dad this year, which was crazy. So I feel like some of that is inspiring the new music and the art. I also finished my record deal, and now I'm finally able to release music that I own. So I'm doing on the independent journey for Minor League Recordings and Tapes. So that's my label, and I'm able to release music and own it. And that's a game changer for me because when you own your music, you can actually make real money off of the masters. And hopefully what that can do is help me get off the road from touring so much so I could be at home with my son, you know, and my family and build this part of my life. So the project's called The And it's spelled with like the end, E-N-D, with the E crossed out with an A over it.
Okay.
So the and is like to me, the idea is like a lot of things come to an end, like my record contract with Reach, you know, seasons in your life, but you can see it as the finale or you can see it as the comma, you know what I'm saying? The next chapter is just to begin. And so I'm choosing to see it as the and, like the second half of my career.
That's fire.
And I think it's, you know, it's the best. I've thought about this because now I'm in my 30s and I'm still making music and I'm like, yo, is it time to like hang it up? Does it just, you start looking crazy when you start rapping beyond 25? But I keep getting better. That's the problem. Like, I feel like if I was declining, like my music wasn't getting better, I wasn't becoming a better writer, better beat selection, better visuals, I'd be like, yo, like, chill. But I feel like I'm making the best work of my life.
No, you what, 35?
37.
37? You don't got to hang it up till, you got at least, I feel like, okay, if you were 52 still rapping, like, okay, that's one thing.
And that's the
I feel
clips.
like if you're,
the clips just dropped.
yeah.
And bro's 52.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, so
Malice.
to an extent, that would be kind of cool. How old is like Jay-Z?
Jay-Z's 56, I think.
No way.
Yeah. Let's ask. Hey Meta,
Okay,
how
that's
old
what
is
I'm saying,
Jay-Z?
though. Like, if he was to release some music, people wouldn't be like, yo, he's too old to be releasing music. People would be like, Jay-Z dropped.
Well, he's about to drop too, I think.
So that's like, Future's in his 40s, I think. When he drops, it's like, it's fire. So
Jay-Z's 55, my Meta glasses just told me. So December, he'll be 56.
No, Future's not 55. They
No,
lied
Jay-Z.
to you. Oh,
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Okay,
Jay-Z.
okay. Wait, those do that?
This joint's talking to me right now.
Actually. I got the
I'm gonna
Meta
take a
glasses
picture.
that like do the pictures and the videos.
Yeah, this is them.
But I got like the shades one. Those are dope. I gotta get those. Those are fire.
These are, I mean, it's nuts. We live in the future, brother.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. So nah, bro, keep it rocking, keep doing your thing, cause it's like your passion. This is the thing about like me as a basketball player, right? Like basketball is my passion, and then I view this, like what I'm doing with Curious Mike and speaking to people like you and speaking about real things. I view that as more of my purpose. The cool thing about what you got going on is you get to mix both, because you get to have impact and have your passion all in one, because you're rapping, but you're also talking to people and impacting people. And so that's why I feel like you get to ride this train out as long as you want. Like for me, it'll be a point where I got to hang up, put the shoes up and put the ball up, but then like I get to continue this because this is
Sure.
impactful. And for you, like that's a dope, because there's very few jobs that people have where they can
merge both.
They can merge both. And honestly, music and maybe like some actors and the roles they choose.
Yeah.
Besides that, there's really not. I mean, I can go on the court and I can like have a presence and smile and give praise to God in an interview, but it's not the same as you releasing a 15-song album and it's like you get to speak on all these things, and so it's fire. You got to keep it rocking.
Nah, man, and you know what? Hip hop is the youngest genre of music, and so it is aging now. Like it's growing up, and so we're seeing for the first time rappers in their 40s, their 50s, late 30s. It felt like it was always a young man's sport because everyone in it was young.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people didn't figure out how to adjust. I actually feel like that's happening in basketball.
Yeah.
We're starting to see a 40-year-old player still contributing big. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Chris Paul, you got LeBron. LeBron is a freak,
Yeah.
but
no, I mean, even
you're seeing
even
people
the KDs,
aging up.
even the Stephs, even the
Yeah.
James Hardens,
They're all my
the
age.
Kawhis, they're getting older. They're getting older.
They're getting older and still contributing, and I think maybe because also like have you seen this before, like a picture of Missy Elliott like recently, and you're like, yo, Missy Elliott today, 25 years later, looks younger than when she was young.
Yeah.
Like there's just the ability to stay out. Maybe it's the been able to figure out, beauty, skincare products, all that stuff to make people stay youthful. People are eating better, have more information, But I think it's extending the life of entertainers and athletes too. I mean, when do you see yourself being done? Like, do you think of an age?
For me, like, because of the things I've gone through with my body, it's probably accelerated a little bit more than I would want it to. Just because I have to do so much because of the injuries and the
Right.
surgeries to like stay feeling good. So it's a little bit different for me. I haven't put a timetable on it. I kind of just decided after every season, I'm gonna take 3 or 4 days. Like this past summer, I went to Costa Rica, put my phone up for 4 days, and then I reevaluate for the next year. So I committed to give basketball my all, and really enjoy it, and really put myself in it for the next year. You know what I mean? Then next year, after the season happens, I get to go and I get to do this trip with no phone and reevaluate. Okay, what is my priorities and my purposes for this next year? And I think that dividing it like that is like healthy for me, because I had a lot of frustrations through the injuries and the surgeries and the playoffs, and getting my shoulder hurt and then getting traded, and it's like I want to just take it year by year at this point for me. But like that's why I think that I'm starting to try to put a lot of effort into speaking with people and doing the Curious Mike podcast, is just because this is something that I feel like I could let rock continue post career. So that's kind of how I view it. So you have a few songs that I want to bounce off you and kind of understand more what you were thinking when writing them, and kind of just your thoughts on them. My first song I want to bring up is the song Tug of War. And you talk about kind of the tug of war between kind of your flesh and your spirit, and kind of going through these cycles of doing good for a little bit, and falling back into
Man, you brought up
bad cycles.
that's an old one.
So
That's
it's an
like
old
my
one.
first album.
I got a few songs that
Well,
I
that's
feel
when you
like
discovered
really,
me too at that time,
yeah,
right?
yeah, that really like I can relate to. It's Tug of War. I don't know if it's on your first album, but it's on one of the.
Yeah, first album.
It's on one of the. Is it your first one?
Yeah, the Heroes for Sale. That was the
Oh,
first
that's
album with
crazy.
Reach.
Well, yeah. So, talk to me about that song, Tug of War, and kind of the message you were trying to get across and where you were at in your life.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like if I can remember it, because I wrote that like in my early 20s, so it was just like a young guy trying to figure out what direction, what path I wanted to go in life.
It's this one right here. Yeah, yeah. It's Heroes for
Yeah.
Sale. Yeah, yeah.
And I had homie from Tech Nine, Strange Music, and those guys. He was on there, Chris Calico. Yeah, I remember I was actually telling somebody about this recently. It's like sometimes you feel like God is inviting you to live a life a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Or inviting you to a relationship with him. And there's oftentimes it's conflicting with the things that you want to do. And I remember feeling that tension when I was in college, like having a relationship with God and be like, Lord, I want to follow you. I want to live my life for you. But also there's these girls. There's this, you know what I'm saying? There's like all this stuff I want to do. And I feel like I'm going to have to go through letting go of something. You know what I'm saying? When Jesus says, follow me, he's like, take up your cross, die daily, follow me. It's like, if you want to be a follower of Jesus, it means like putting aside your desires and trying to align yourself with what God desires for your life. And that's a difficult thing because we live in these bodies with our own desires, with our own temptations, and we want what we want. But if you ultimately believe that like God's way is better, then you're gonna make the sacrifice or try to, and that's a daily thing. That's why he says pick up your cross daily.
I like that.
Do that
I was gonna
every
touch on
day.
that, yeah.
Try to make the decision to align your life with Jesus. So when I wrote that song, I had this epiphany. I said, I got two choices, both require pain. One's the pain of change or the pain of staying the same. One of them leads to joy, other one leads to, I forgot, strain or something like that. It was like, I can't remember my own lyrics, but it was just to say like.
Let's pull it up. One of them leads to joy. Let me see.
I got two choices, both require pain.
I got two choices, both require pain. One's the pain of change or the pain of staying the same. One of them leads to joy, other one leads to shame. One of them leads to freedom, the other keeps me in chains. That's tough.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
That is. And that is that tug of war. Is that which decision am I gonna make? Now I know both of them are gonna have pain because there's gonna be pain to put aside your desires to be like, I wanna follow Jesus. Because it sucks to get invited to the party and be like, you know what, I'm not gonna go. Yeah. It sucks when you got a girl texting you, come to the dorm room, and you're like, I wanna go, but I ain't going, Yeah. There's pain in that, because you really gotta die to yourself. And I had many nights like that. And then there's the pain of living the way you wanna live and being like, I know God has a way for me and a path for me, but I wanna go this way. And you go down that path long enough and you lay in bed at night and can't sleep because you feel shame for this thing. So there's gonna be pain either way. In that song I was trying to say, if either are gonna be pain, I'm gonna choose the lane that is gonna result in my joy, my happiness. Because I believe if God asks something of us, it's not to take away our pleasure, it's to amplify our pleasure. Yeah. It's to amplify, I think his way of living when you're aligned with him leads to goodness and joy and happiness, right? Because I think he's a good dad. It's like a good dad saying, if you live your life this way, I promise you it's gonna work out best for you. You know what I'm saying? On some like, I actually want the best for you. Versus live the way you want to, and you might end up in shambles. Yeah. I think God walking in his way ultimately is what leads to joy. And I'm at this age in my life where I'm 11 years happily married with a kid, a career that I love. Like, my life is full. Yeah. And I think, a lot of that has to deal with because I have surrendered my life to God and said, I want to live it the way that you plan for me. And,
that's amazing,
I'm not saying everybody who commits to Jesus is just going to have, because it's not easy, but it is satisfying, I would say.
That's amazing. Yeah, I like that you touched on I've touched on this, and one of the things I've spoken on is that daily, die to yourself daily. You have to your daily bread, your daily, you know, like it's not about committing to God and then he just gives you the power to just live the way in a way that pleases him for the rest of time. No, it's like
every day,
every single day, and the days that you don't, or the weeks that you don't, and the weeks that you don't fill your mind up and fill your spirit up with his word and with good music and with good people that are pouring into you, you're gonna end up failing and your flesh is gonna end up winning. Like,
sure.
Especially if you're a dude that has a lot of access, a lot of temptation, like you were in college. So how did you like fuel yourself up, like power yourself up so that it wasn't such a battle of like willpower and you were able to like make the right decisions?
Yeah.
And like say no to that girl or say no to going to
Sure.
that party or doing these drugs or doing this, like, because that doesn't come, I don't, personally, that doesn't come from willpower. You know?
Nah, willpower is not enough.
Yeah.
You need people.
Yeah.
And I was blessed to find people, find community. You know what I'm saying? So when I was going to college, I found like-minded brothers and sisters that were like trying to walk in that direction. And you spend time with them, and you know who you surround yourself with really does help determine what direction you're gonna go in life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like they say, bad company corrupts good character, is a verse. And it's true. And so I was able to find great people. I was able to be a part of a thing called Truce, which was just like on Saturdays, we'd get together, we'd work on music, and we would also, this guy, Dave Ham, man, he's like one of the biggest mentors of my life. He discipled me in the way of Jesus. He was like, yo, sometimes he would say things like, sometimes your gifts will take you places that your character can't handle. And I want to make sure that your gift is developed so you ill on the mic, but also that you have the character that when you get to those places, you're not going to falter.
Yeah.
And I was, so for the first year I was a part of this thing with him, it was like a group of people that would rap and sing. He was like, yo, I just want you on the mixing board. He said, you the best rapper out of everybody I have, but I feel like if I put you on that stage too soon, it could lead to pride. So he's like, let me just develop you off in the corner. And
That's cool. That's a
you know what I'm
good
saying?
dude,
It was
yeah.
like, it really loved me, an incredible dude to this day. And, I think that's also why why I view things the way that I do. Where it's like, if somebody is popping and they want to do a record, but I don't rock with who they are as a person, it's hard for me to get on a song with them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, that's seeing yourself as a product. Yeah. That's playing the game, being a part of the industry. So I think there was some work that was done by the people that I was around that instilled to me that having character is the thing that will allow you to last and have a long time in any career, in any place you go, and be able for you to go to bed at night and be able to sleep well. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I heard one guy say this, it's like, if you guard your character, your reputation will protect itself. But a lot of people want to protect their reputation because their character isn't in order.
Yeah.
So when things go wrong, they're running around trying to do PR stuff that, no, that's not me. You're trying to guard your reputation. But if you take care of your character, your reputation takes care of itself.
I mean, it's the same thing you hear, like even in Bible study. Don't try to fix your life from the outside in or just let your behaviors change your inside. You got to, from the inside, change and develop your inside and your spirit so that your actions kind of flow from that. So I like that.
Well, I was going to say something to you too, because you mentioned something. You said access. Like, when people have access to temptation is really when the struggle happens.
Yeah.
And, we texted about this a little bit, but, I would say players, like NBA players, have access to excess. Yeah. And most people don't have that. And so for the person on the outside who's like, I would never do that, it's like, you don't even have the opportunity to do that.
You don't got the money. First of all, you don't got the money. Second of all, you're not in a different city pretty much every night with your own hotel room, with your own.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you don't
know what it's like to have girls waiting in the lobby for you.
Right.
That are the baddest shorties you've ever seen, saying, take both of us upstairs and let's get it popping. You don't know what that's like. So you saying I would never do that is also, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. You get to live a very quiet, peaceful, chill life day to day and be around the same people for us, you know, it's just different. Like that character development, what you just talked about, it has to be way more intentional if you want to live a life of integrity. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
And
it comes with some sacrifice.
a lot. I mean, it's because, you know, a lot of guys aren't trying to live the life that me or you are trying to live. That's not their goal. Their goal is to have as many beautiful women as they can, to have as much money as they can, to, you know, and so the people that you're around in this industry, most of them aren't even people that can pour into you the right way. So like what I've faced in the NBA is like struggling finding people to kick it with that aren't negative influences. Like
Sure, yeah.
I found some great teammates. They're really like solid dudes. The Holiday brothers, all of them solid.
Yeah.
Like Justin Holiday and them,
Shout out
solid.
Just.
Marcus Howard, like, you know, super strong in his faith. You know, I had some teammates last year. We got together and we were doing a Bible study. Peyton Watson, Julian, Hunter Tyson, PJ Hall, even like me and Jamal Murray would talk on God and things like that. Aaron
Is he
Gordon.
married? Jamal?
No. None of them dudes are married. But besides Hunter Tyson, he just recently got married. But like the majority of guys in the industry, they're not trying to live a life of integrity. So these are the guys you're around every single day.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to really just completely walk a different direction. But I'm excited. There's a few guys on this team that I've already, you know, met and became cool with that really are prioritizing their faith. And you know, like just the other 2 days ago in the gym, in the weight room, we weren't listening to rap. We were listening to some Kirk Franklin or something, or some worship music or something. Like, and we were all in there lifting weights and getting ready for the day, and we was listening to some gospel music. I forget who we were listening to, but
I'm sorry, I still need rap. I still, to lift, I need some rap.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's good to, you know, so to your point, like,
Change the influences, change the inputs.
to your point, the people that judge, like, and they say that they would never do this or that, you're not in our shoes. You don't know what you would do with this type of money and access.
No. And I found this out too recently. It's just like all the sayings about money are true. All the more money, more problems, you know, but it's just what happens is money amplifies what's already there. That's what I've been finding out lately. Like, if you're gonna do a big deal and all of a sudden you realize you're gonna have this massive influx of money, now every single person who is connected to you, who knows that money is going to be yours, they may start to feel some type of way about you, about what you have. And somebody told me this recently. People don't want what you give them, they want what you have. And that becomes a whole new scenario to deal with money, what that brings in relationships, what that does to weirdness, to friendships, right? And so you live a blessed life. You like the 0.001% of people in the world who want to play ball and do that. But not to say that it doesn't come with some scrutiny and some other stuff. And I think you're trying your best to handle it as best as possible.
That brings me to my next song. Talk a little bit about MPJ Freestyle and what you, and the specific lyric. We listened to it before you pulled up here, you know. Talk about your prayer for me in that song, and talk about, you know, how did you come up with the name? Yeah, talk about that song.
So yeah, I was in the studio working on Neverland 2, and my boy Taylor Hill was in there. We were working on it, and he was making the beat. You know that main line in the song, wah, 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 wah. He was just singing that into the mic, and so he sampled his voice and made it. And I was just sitting there, and I just started freestyling, and like that whole first verse came in like 5 minutes, instantly. And I was like, I don't know what this is gonna be. Sometimes when you're creating, like, the song shows itself to you once you're finished writing. You know, like you're just letting it go. And as I was writing that first verse, there was a lot of stuff going on. There was the pandemic was happening, the protests were happening, and I was starting to see a lot of nonsense. It was like the people that would show up to the rallies, you know, to pop up their sign, take a picture, jump in their car, drive away. Like people just posturing to look like they're with the cause or they're down because it's a popular thing to do at that moment, right? And I just felt like this spirit of like calling out nonsense. I guess that's the only way to put it, is like, I feel like, yo, I'm gonna talk that talk on this record. Yeah. Just like, if I got a problem with somebody, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
And so those could get you in trouble because it got me, Dwight Howard ended up reaching out to me.
Did he?
I didn't tell you about any of this.
No way. So he heard the song. He wasn't feeling
this year.
Oh,
just
so
hit me.
He just hit you this year. When did the song come out?
2021 or something.
And he hit your line, and what he said?
He was like, "Yo, that's messed up what you said about me in that song, man."
Dang, bro, I didn't even know that. When I first heard the song, I was like, "Oh, this is fire," and I was surprised that you put that bar in there.
So was I.
But it was like a time when a lot of that, stuff was coming out, which true or not true. Dwight, like every time I've met Dwight, dope dude. We were in the bubble. He was a real cool dude. Him and my dad chopped it up a few times. So I don't know the insides of his personal life, but there were a few things on the internet about bro at that time.
Yeah.
Do you so you regret putting the bar in there?
I think I was in a different place in that time. You know what I'm saying? And I think I don't know Buddy personally, at all. But there was definitely two public versions of him. And that's what I was talking about was when he came out in the league in the beginning, just being
sold out for God.
Sold out for God, and then had a myriad of things happen publicly that were in contradiction to this. Now, I run the risk of sounding self-righteous, by pointing that out. And I think that's what happened in the record is I was like, man, I just don't want to see you end up like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to, that's what I said in the record. I don't want to see you ending up like Dwight. Started off right and lost his life.
Yeah, spit the bar real quick. What'd you say?
I don't want to see you turning out like Dwight. Started off right, then he lost his light. Said he would do all things through Christ. I mean, he did do all things. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
And that is mean, to put somebody's stuff out there like that. But sometimes as a rapper, you're writing for the ooh moment. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did as a battle rapper, bro. You trying to make the funniest, wittiest lines and prove the point. But the sentiment was true that I know you've been public about your faith, and I didn't want it, by the time you finished your career, to be so far away from that it becomes a caricature. Like, oh yeah, said you was gonna, you said you was all about Jesus. Instead, look at what happened. So now again, because I don't know dude like that, I think it's, that's a tough pill to swallow. To hear that, because I wouldn't have liked to heard that about myself.
So he hit your line and he was just like, yo, that was messed up what you said, that was it?
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly what the DM was. I'd have to pull it up, but it was like, yo, I just heard the song, that's messed up. You said that about you don't know me,
What'd you hit him back and say?
I can't remember, it's in here. It was like, yeah, that was 4 years ago when I wrote that. I was in a different place. I can't remember. You want me to pull it up?
If you want to.
You want me to pull it up? I should find it, right? Just to know what was being said.
Honestly, the way I look at it though is if you're gonna do something and it's gonna be in the public, nobody can do anything and it's just not. If you're gonna do something, it might be public, and then people can. You got to take some accountability.
There's definitely a what do you call it? There's a responsibility.
Yeah. I've had to take responsibility for things I say publicly or do that come out publicly, and I got to accept what comes behind that. So
yeah, because they're killing you right now.
What have you thought about some of the
this
things?
This ain't loaded, so I can't.
Nah, that's all good. What have you thought about some of the one-liners and the little quotes you say?
It's because I know you that, and we've hung out and outside all this stuff, where I go, oh, he's a dude who's trying to be honest.
Yeah.
And not realizing that honesty publicly can be misconstrued. Because without, I was telling you the other day, I saw somebody post something like, they took one line of what you said, like, I might show Shorty Andrew Tate or something, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but if you listen to the full conversation, you understand what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
And what I take away from that is I put something on like this just to see how somebody reacts, to see if they're about it.
Something that I don't even fully stand by or agree with, but I'll put
just
on,
to see what their reaction is, to know where they stand on something.
just to see, yeah, exactly.
Right. But I was like, oh, now it looks like you co-signing Andrew Tate, right? But I also know how media works.
Right.
You know, that people need a story, so they want a little line here and there. But you know, for you, I think what you're doing is you're trying to be as honest as you can.
Because it goes back to our earlier conversation. I don't want the pressure of having to live with a facade. I dated a girl one time who was on a reality TV show, and she put out this image to the world, right? She comes off the TV show, she has millions of followers, and she felt the pressure of having to live up to that image and that facade that she put on the screen, and it caused her a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. I would rather be super, like, overly honest about my shortcomings, my flaws, my vices. I talked about even my vices, the things I struggle with, because I don't want the pressure of, like, having to walk
Live under the
around.
expectation.
Yeah, the expectation to walk around as this dude that I'm not. I'd rather show up as I am, with everybody knowing that I'm trying to grow. I'm not stuck in my ways. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to develop my relationship with God and see where that takes me. But I don't want to deal with that. And so that's why when I'm saying these things on podcasts, that's where I'm coming from, because, like, I know how to get on camera and say the perfectly PR right answer. You know what I mean? I know how to get on camera and not ruffle any feathers or just say no comment about that. I've been doing media since I was in high school. Since I became ranked, people were interviewing me, putting a camera in my face. Like, I know how to do that. Everybody's like, oh, he needs a PR person. I'm doing this on purpose because internally, I don't want to deal with the pressure of showing up every day and not and putting on a facade. Like, I don't.
Let's be honest here. You have FU money. Let's be honest here. You have the type of money where it's like, if people don't like me, whatever. But I will say this: that's a nice place to be in life. Where, like, my life's set. It is what it is. I'm buying Andy a Jubilee bracelet for his birthday. That does help when you're like. I think when people are trying to move through the ranks and trying to get, you know what I'm saying, themselves established, they do feel the need to acquiesce. You know what I'm saying? To adjust for that. It is nice to be in a place where you're like, whatever. But what also comes with being honest is the scrutiny. And what every person has to decide is, do they want to endure the scrutiny? And I think that's, you know, like, there's been moments when I want to speak up about something. I'm like, man, I don't like it. And then I go, do I want that drama in my life?
Yeah.
To call somebody out? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all this stuff coming out about certain people right now, about things that they've done in private. And it was like, some people knew about this stuff. It's like, but do you want to be the one to go, you know what? I want to use my platform to go call this person out about the things they're doing in their personal life. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, you got to make the.
Now I'm getting a call to go on Good Morning America at 4 a.m. to go talk about other people. Nah, bro, I barely got enough time in my life to care for me, my family, and the people I love. So I have to decide when I open my mouth to talk about something. Do I want the
Or if you feel called to talk about that subject,
like if you feel like, if this could change the world, I got to talk about this. That's a different thing. But for you, I would wonder how this would affect your mind and your on court things. You know what I'm saying? If these things become such a because your primary job right now is being on, right?
Hoop, yeah.
Is hoop. So, like, how do I keep the noise out to be the best possible person I could be in this arena?
Well, that's a good question. I feel like.
And do you feel like it's affecting you?
I feel like because of the life I've lived and because of being at the top of the basketball world, projected #1 pick, best high school player in the world, and then getting injured and all these people that love you hate you.
Yeah. You've kind of seen both.
And I've been, like, then I've had to build myself up with just my family and my close friends while the world is talking crazy about you. And I've been through that multiple times. And I've been through 3 back surgeries. I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. I've seen over and over how people love you one game and they hate you the next game when they want to trade you. One game I'm
star contributor.
And then the next game, people are like, man, get him out of here. Like, I've seen that so many times to now where public opinion, they don't affect me like they would affect most people, which is part of the reason why I feel like I've been called to kind of be like a sacrificial lamb in a sense of honesty and talking about things that people aren't willing to talk about because it doesn't affect me the way it would affect most people.
Sure.
But to your point, during the basketball season, like we're getting ready to gear up in like 3 weeks, a lot of these conversations I'm having that are like a little bit more sensitive subjects, you know, or things that could receive backlash, I don't want to deal with
Going into camp with it.
I don't want to deal with like the main headlines being about that. I want them to be talking about how I'm doing on the court. So off season, Mike, and the conversations I'm willing to have and sit down with people are going to be a lot different. They're going to look a lot different than when I'm in the season. And I just want to focus on hoop, and I want all the noise around Michael Porter Jr. to be about the Nets and how I'm doing on the court, you know. So I do think that there is a balance, and I'm not trying to, but at the same time, this is a passion, and I don't feel personally like anything I said is
bugged out.
OD. I think that like that's the normal conversations people have every day, and mine just so happened to be that I'm speaking on camera. But I'm saying a lot of stuff that people think, and I'm saying a lot of stuff that people believe. They're just not willing to deal with the backlash, which that's okay.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And I think you also have to, I think your posture in that has to be one that maintains humility to say, if I say something and someone corrects me, like I think, what, Brittany Reiner or someone was on here? She was G-checking you, right? I like that. That's good. For you to be able to take that input and say, maybe I was wrong on a position here.
Or like, that's the whole
and
point of
adjust.
the podcast.
And I think if you model that, that can be a net positive for you being honest. Because I think if you're a truly honest person, you'll even hold the things you say with this should be examined and maybe this could change.
I hold the opinions I have, the things I say very loosely, and that's why it's called Curious Mike. It's not about facts. It's not that everything I'm saying is facts. I'm saying let's sit down. I might agree with you. I might disagree with you. Let's sit down and have a very open, respectful dialogue about it and be able to walk away from the conversation learning something. Like, it's good, it's fun to me to talk to people that differ than me and
disagree,
have different opinions. That's why I like sitting down with
That's
Brittany.
why I was trying to find some stuff to like fight with you about.
Well, nah. We can at the end of this. I got a few more questions, but this brings up to me like, you know,
because she was G-checking you on the female thing.
She was checking me on when I said that I would not want to date a girl
that you knew another athlete.
Dated an athlete or like a friend of mine or somebody I would run into back in the day. And she was like, why do you feel that way? You know? And that's just, you know, that's personal preference. That's the other thing. I feel like everybody should be able to have opinions and preferences and
disagree.
And that should be okay. But now it's like, oh, if this person disagrees with me, I hate them and I want to kill them. Like the dude yesterday,
Charlie Kirk,
that died. Like, okay, like he may have, I don't listen to it, but he may have had some outlandish things that he said or things that rub people the wrong way.
But shouldn't be murdered for it.
But why are people getting so heated that he has a difference of opinion that they're willing to kill him for it? Like, and not only kill him, the internet is flooded with people that are very happy that he died, and that's simply based on having a difference of opinion. To me, I can disagree with someone, and that is perfectly okay, and we should go our separate ways and still respect each other.
Sure.
And I feel like what the world is losing nowadays is the ability to do that. It's like, nah, if this person differs than me or if this person shares a different opinion, I hate this person. I want to kill this person. I want to violate them on social media. I want to get in their DMs and talk crazy to them. Like, when did it become that? You know, so Curious Mike, the podcast, was so that people could have a safe dialogue. Sometimes I'll get on here and I'll agree with the majority of what people are saying. Me and you know, we both pretty much walk a very similar life and we both have similar goals and similar values. So our conversation will look a lot different than when I get someone on here who...
to debate.
I can't wait to get a person that's very knowledgeable about Islam on here and they're speaking on their religion. I can't wait to get two people on here and have them debate and I'm kind of being the narrator and seeing them go back and forth. So it's going to be a wide variety of things, but that's kind of where I stand on all that, you know? So yeah, yesterday the world witnessed Charlie Kirk die. And like I kind of just gave my thoughts on like the fact that you should be able to have difference of opinions and still be able to move in a respectful way. What did you think when you saw kind of that happen yesterday and then the reaction the world had to it?
You know, first of all, I was actually on the car ride over here, and I pulled up my phone and I seen a picture of him and his wife and his 2 kids, and she posted something like, "The Lord is our refuge." And yo, I started like almost having like a little panic attack, because I now that I have a son, I can't imagine like someone taking me out and my son doesn't have a dad.
And he's right there watching. They were in
I
there.
mean,
They were
it
in
like, it messes me up to even like think about it, you know what I mean? So I just was like, I honestly have not engaged with much of it. I don't know the dude. I've never engaged with his content. I think I would see stuff every once in a while when he would debate on campus. And I always thought like people that show up to debate on campus are a little annoying, you know what I mean? So I was always like, it's not, again, it's not for me. But apparently, you know, like as I did, just like learned a little bit, he's like in the political sphere and, you know, has conservative opinions. And I feel like it's awful, man, that anybody gets taken out and that wives get left behind, kids get left behind, and that people get murdered publicly. To me, what we're trying to build in America is a democracy, a place where you can have freedom of speech and different opinion, and that's how you work through things, not through murdering people that disagree with you. And I think like the climate has gotten so polarized that this is unfortunately kind of the direction we've been going in as a country. It's not like meaningful, nuanced dialogue. It's, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's a dangerous place for us to be. But, you know, they say like the noisy 5% speaks for the 95%. Unfortunately, when you see those super radical people on the internet, you know, making all the noise, you think that that's the voice of everybody. But a lot of times it's just a really small percentage of people. And I hope that that's not speaking for the majority of people. I hope that Americans can like get along, recognize that this country was built on like difference of, you know, the values, the ideas that were meant to be here. Even if they haven't been perfect, it's been like that we could all be different and coexist.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think it's a tragedy, bro. And I don't really know the guy, but I don't want to see nobody get assassinated.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should all be able to agree on that.
No, it was tough, and I thought we should all.
Did you see the video of him dying?
Bro,
I haven't seen it yet, and I'm trying to.
My boy sent it to me. It was so like it was such a clear like video from so many different angles that it was OD. And the thing is,
I haven't seen.
I mean, I don't want to get into conspiracy theories about it, but like back to your point, like you would think, like I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy that they die in front of their children.
No.
But when I posted on my Instagram story and I'm like, yo, like I was like, rest in peace, Charlie. Like I don't watch the guy's content, but nobody deserves to die like this. Da.
Sure.
I'm praying for his family. You should have seen the DMs and the reactions that I got from people that were like, F him, I'm glad he's dead. Like LMAO, I'm gonna be spitting like on his grave. Like the amount of hateful messages that I saw, that was what was disheartening to me. Like things happen all the time. We live in a sinful world. There's gonna be really tragic things that happen, but the public reaction to this, to me, is like what's really concerning, because it even makes like anybody who wants to speak their mind or who wants to speak their opinion on something a little hesitant, because of the fact that if you say something that somebody doesn't like, these days it's not like where you can just have a difference of opinion and keep it moving. Now it's like, bro, there's people dying because they think different than you. You know, and that to me is like a crazy place to be in.
People are being radicalized for sure.
You know,
like ideologies are taking over people's entire view of themselves, the world they engage with, and I think that's where you get into some really dangerous waters. Well, man, because the way people think affects the way that they behave, and we have so much input, so much stuff going in, you know, through TikTok, through you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All these inputs. And you start getting on an algorithm that starts feeding you some crazy stuff. It's hard.
You're right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It gets in and it can really radicalize people. So
I would that's why I thought those 4 days I spent in Costa Rica, where I went and I put the phone up and I did some journaling, some reading, and I really like got back to, man, what do I think? Do I still love basketball?
That's good.
What do I think about this? And I got away from what the phone is telling me, what people, And it like is really, really, really healthy to do. And I haven't spent enough time really investing in my spirit, investing in my mind, investing in my emotional space. Like that's what America needs to get back to, is putting the phone down, reconnect with some nature, go do some introspection, and learn to think for yourself instead of going on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram all day. And like you said, letting these people who do have certain agendas, letting them just feed you with all this
Information.
BS and this info. So like, you're right, but or just go turn on Andy Mineo's new album.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's gonna be speaking about some positive things,
That's
and
right.
it's gonna get your mind right. So
That's right. That's right.
that's another tool you could use. But
That's right.
man, I think these cameras might be running out, so we gotta.
I know we can talk forever, bro. I got so many things to tell you, but we'll end up having a meeting.
We gotta have a part two. Let's maybe when we're walking around out here down the piers, we'll have a little walking discussion.
Yeah,
But man, this is
sure.
you are I've had you on a pedestal. You and Lecrae are like my guys. Y'all have helped me through a lot of tough times in my life, and you're a brother to me, and I really appreciate you getting on the podcast. Everybody, his new album is coming out very shortly.
And the singles are out now.
They're out now, okay.
We got the I Swear This Is Not an Andre 3000 diss song.
Okay.
Which is a great video and song's been out. Okay, We Back.
Okay.
It's trending right now on Instagram Reels, so it's taking
yeah.
off. And GTA 6, the new song from Magic and Bird Part 2 is out right now. So we're dropping singles, we're doing stuff, and if you guys tap in, you'll be able to find all of it.
Yeah, and I get to continue to put his stuff on my vlogs because this guy was dope enough to whitelist it, so I get to put all his music on my vlogs, and
especially all the stuff, the new stuff that I own too.
For real?
It's
Easy?
Oh yeah, easy. All the stuff I own, you got it.
Say no more, man. Well, I appreciate you getting on here, bro. It's been an honor, and share some wisdom with us and everything, so I appreciate you, my dude.
Let's do it again.
Yes, sir. Curious Mike out, y'all.